Okay, we got a 2018 Nissan Rouge, replacing the rack and pinion. Disconnect the battery, straighten the steering wheel. You could lock it down like with a seatbelt or something. Take off this steering intermediate shaft bolt, slide it up and out of the way, like that. And then we're taking the wheels off. There are no power tools being used, only fingers. Take the wheels, all the lug nuts off, pull the wheel off. Alright, we could speed this up a little bit. And then we're going to loosen the sway bar links. I think they're 18 millimeters. Pull those off. You don't got to take them all the way off, just the top nut. And then we got the tie rod ends. Remove those bolts, pull them off. And it just helped out that I took the passenger side tie rod end all the way off. It's easier to slide it out. So then you go to the driver's side, sway bar link, pull it off, tie rod end, take off the nut, and it doesn't have to come out. So the next thing we got to do here, because the shaft from the top of the rack goes in so far, we got to lower the subframe. So you just remove these rear subframe bolts. There's 4 bolts, 2 on the front and 2 on the back. Take the 2 in the back off, and then it will drop the subframe down a few inches, far enough to be able to get the shaft from the rack and pinion out. So as you can see here, I took the last one, and that shaft will come out far enough. And then remove this little bracket on the other side. Okay, so now I can tip the rack over enough to get that shaft to slide through. And there we go. Then you just get the new one, cut it out with a fancy razor blade or whatever you like to use. Slide it in there, and then get the shaft to go through that boot. Tighten up all these subframe bolts. And then get the sway bar link bolts back on. Reinstall the tie rods. You'll have to get in alignment after this. You can count how many turns when you remove the tie rod ends, like how many times you have to make a complete turn when you're removing it, and then just tighten it that many turns when it goes back on. So yeah, that's it. Pretty much putting it all back together here. I don't know if this is skipping like it is while I'm watching it, or if it's going to be smooth. But there's the intermediate shaft, tighten it back up. That was a 15 millimeter. Put the battery back on, and you're good to go.